Hey you, and welcome back. I just created the last video, so hello. It hasn't been that long for me. I don't know how long it's been since you've seen me, but I saw you just recently. So let's just dive in and get started. Last week, I introduced you to this new cornerstone, environmental health. And I emphasized that this is the weakest cornerstone for me, mainly because I just haven't done enough research. I know so much about health and wellness, and I've done a lot of studying in those aspects, but when it comes to environmental health, it is something beautiful and something that I've been so intrigued by lately, but it isn't something that I've actually applied too much in my life until recently. So although it's something new to me, it's new to me right now. I don't know a lot about it yet. There's so much to be said in the mindset. Adding yet to the end of your words when you're trying to achieve something is very powerful. So although I don't know a lot about environmental science or environmental health, it's a yet. I don't know a lot yet because I'm going to keep my curiosity open. My plan during these next few episodes is to learn along with you. And although I have incorporated some of these things into my life already, I will share those experiences, but as I learn new things, I'll share those as well. Today, we're going to be talking about the basics of taking care of our planet. It's not something that you can really simplify, but there are simple actions that you can take to help you develop a better connection with the environment and also learn more about the environment, which knowledge is power in this case, and maybe even make an impact. Actually help the environment by making these small changes, because the more people that make these small changes, the more change that we see in the environment, in the health of the world, and the more people that are on board with these things. I know it sounds a little crazy or like you're just one person, but if a lot of people are on board and super into the environment and nature, which why wouldn't you be? Then big companies are going to pick up on that. They are. They're going to go after what their consumers want. That's a whole nother tangent that I don't know enough about either. So we'll stop there for right now. If you have any words on that, please, I would love to have a conversation about that with you, because I do truly believe that individual people can make a humongous impact. Okay, so we're going to start with the term that you already know and has probably been drilled into your head: reduce, reuse, and recycle. I can't stress enough how this small phrase makes it so much easier to constantly keep the environment in mind and give you simple rules of thumb to follow whenever you're trying to do things that are better for the environment. Okay, so one small way that you can take care of one small way that you can take care of the planet is by making small changes in your daily life, or in some cases, making huge changes in your daily life. If everyone makes these small changes like we talked about, even bigger impact. We're going to break this down into easy to follow actions that you can incorporate into your lifestyle, because everyone has such a unique lifestyle, and sometimes it's uncomfortable making shifts or changes in a lifestyle that you've already grown so comfortable with, but these changes are for the betterment of our planet, which means they're for the betterment of you. And honestly, now that I've been doing them, you actually just feel better. You feel more connected with the earth and nature, and inside you just feel good by making these changes. The first thing that you have to do to increase your environmental health is learn. Yeah, one of my favorite things. I'm doing this right now with you, especially as I wrote this script, which I wrote it a long time ago, so bear with me here. But I'm learning. And I think it's important for you to learn too. So I'm challenging you as step one to increasing your environmental health is learning about it. Do some research, learn what you need to do to protect the planet and how your changes actually make an impact. Doing this will allow you to feel more connected with your decision to make these changes. In the description of this podcast, I will leave a list of my favorite educational resources on the subject to help you get started. And I wrote this a while back, so I have some resources that are great, but I also have some for those of you that are curious and like to go that extra mile and want to learn more. I have some podcast episodes that I think you'll really like. So yes, please look in the description because there will be more information of just different links to get your curiosity going, to get you started. So take a look at those. Learn why it's important to take care of the planet, and also take a moment to learn how it's important to take care. And also take a moment to learn how you can take care of this beautiful, beautiful planet that we live on. So after you learn, a couple things that might come to the surface as you research, how can I do my part? How can I help the environment? How can I live a life that is better for the planet? When you start to dig into that, here are a couple things that you might find. One is reducing. There are easy ways that you can make an impact by reducing waste. Two simple ways are to reduce your water usage and your electricity usage. When you reduce your water and electricity usage, you're reducing the amount of energy and resources it takes to produce those items. An easy way that you can make this lifestyle change fit within your life is by one, being aware of how much water and electricity you're actually using. Do you leave every light on in the house when you leave for the day? Do you leave every electronic plugged in? Are you constantly leaving the water running, possibly when you're doing dishes or running small loads of laundry? Do more research on this and figure out how you can reduce the water and the electricity that you use. Because in all honesty, we don't need as much as we think we need. We've become so comfortable in the fact that it's a supply that's consistently running. And yes, it feels abundant, but there are ways to reduce the amount that we use. Another way that you can reduce waste, which this is something that my sister and I recently started, is by, and this is not sponsored in any way, I promise. Well, at least right now, while I'm recording this, it's not sponsored in any way, and I don't even know how to get it sponsored. But Imperfect Foods, have you ever heard of it? It's this company that you pretty much go shopping online. You click on everything that you want, and then they send it to your doorstep. But the reason that they're so unique or they're special is they sell food products that are going to be wasted. So fruits, vegetables, perishable foods, meat substitutes, meat, fish. They sell these items that were going to be tossed or thrown away because they just weren't perfect enough to sell. So feel free to take a look at that because it is another way to reduce waste, because that stuff, that food that was going to just be thrown away is going to your doorstep because it is completely edible. And so far I've been doing it for about a month and a half, and it's actually been great. A lot of fun, and it's a lot cheaper than going to the grocery store constantly. And I feel that when I use Imperfect Foods, I don't waste as much food. There's not vegetables and fruits that I buy expecting to eat them and then end up throwing them out because they got moldy or old, or just chips that get stale. I know, yeah, I'm getting a little tired here. Okay, so yes, it reduces waste and it helps you plan out your meals is basically what I'm trying to say. All right, so find ways in your life to reduce, whether it is using Imperfect Foods to reduce waste, or even planning out your meals ahead of time so you're not wasting as much food, or shutting off your electricity when you're not home, as far as like turning off all the lights, any electronics, and then trying to be more mindful about using less water. And that's what I have to say for that. The next part is to reuse. In my opinion, the easiest thing to reuse is serveware and water bottles. Those are my two biggest ones. So instead of using paper plates, plastic cutlery, use reusable ones. It's okay to do the dishes, and there is a way to do dishes that does not use so much water. Look that up, or maybe I'll share it in the description because it's possible. It is possible. So even though you might not want to wash the dishes, it's so much better than putting more trash into the landfill. It really is. So ditch the paper plates, ditch the plastic cutlery, use reusable ones. The cleanup does take more time, and it also reduces the amount of waste in landfills. So reuse your cups and forks and knives and plates and water bottles. My favorite thing to reuse is travel cups and mugs. So I also work at Starbucks part-time, as most of you know. And prior to getting a reusable cup, I wasted so many paper and plastic cups just getting drinks throughout the day, or even just getting my daily cup of coffee. I wasted so much, and it does fill me with a little bit of guilt. But now that I bring my own reusable cup to work, it is a little more of a hassle because I might forget it, or I have to remember to bring it, or I have to wash it, which is an extra step. But you know what? It's so much better for the environment. So reuse. And Starbucks does take reusable cups. You just bring them in, and if it's clean, they will make your drink in it. So save some paper, save some plastic, and reuse your cup or water bottle. Our planet has so much trash. Why would we want to add to it? And yeah, we use trash, but there's ways that we don't have to. So why don't we take that extra step in getting reusable items that keep us from having to throw so much away? Finally, the last thing is second to last thing, recycle. I don't know a lot about recycling. Okay, and the next thing is recycle. I personally don't know a lot about recycling. I have heard a lot of different opinions about recycling, especially in the US. Some say it's great, some say it's a waste of time. In my honest opinion, I do continue to recycle. At the off chance, it's not that much harder to put it into a different container, that it is going to be recycled and used and repurposed for something else and not just thrown into the landfill. So my advice for you is do your own research on recycling. It may look different in each area, but even if it might seem like a waste of time, or you do some research and you're like, oh, this recycling company doesn't do this, or I don't know, do your research. But in all honesty, what difference does it make? Just recycle. Just do it on the off chance that it does work. And I will also do more research on this, and I do fully hope that you do more research on this because it is very important and it is actually making a difference. Finally, the last thing that I've been having the most fun with is being a mindful consumer. So shopping at places that are environmentally friendly, especially when it comes to fabrics or clothing or plastics, anything that you're buying, just be aware of the companies that you're buying from. And you can even research online, oh, is this particular company environmentally friendly? And you'll find a lot of information on it. And sometimes they get graded on their environmental friendliness. You can tell I really don't know a lot about this topic, but do your research, be mindful, mindfully choose where you're consuming from. And this is a good practice even outside of the environment. Choose businesses that are good. Of course, shop locally, especially if you know the owner of the business. And if you don't get to know the owner of the business, they're humans just like you. And find businesses that align with your own values and businesses that just don't make you feel icky inside. There are some businesses out there that just have this very icky feeling, and they are not doing things with the consumer and the environment's best interest. So do your research and just be really mindful about where you shop. Recently, I started changing to a new skincare product. It's only been 2 days, so we'll see how it goes. But I did so much research and I looked at so many different places to see where I could get a skincare product that's good for the environment and vegan and cruelty-free. And yes, you might have to jump through all of these research loopholes, but when you find the perfect one and it works out perfectly, it feels good. It feels so good to have that transfer of energy with a business that is genuinely good and genuinely wants to make an impact and do something good for the world. So support those businesses as often as you can. Shop locally as often as you can. Visit your farmers markets as often as you can. Add this into your daily routine. Make yourself believe that you are the type of person that does this and it'll happen. So that is all that I have for you right now. It isn't much, but like I said, these are just the basics. This is just the foundation. And the biggest key point is to 1, hang in there. It's something new. And 2, learn. Do your research. Be curious. Ask questions. If you know anything more or have any more insights, please do share them with me. I love starting conversations about these things, especially when they have to do with health and wellness. And I just cannot get enough of education and growing myself as a person. And so if you're the same way and you have some cool things that you want to share with me, please share them. Don't hesitate to reach out with a DM or a comment or a message on my social media or an email, or reach out through my website. However you can find me in the realm of the internet, unless you know me in person. Yes, if you can find me on social media, that's the best way to connect with me. And I just want to end this by saying, good luck on your endeavors. Feel free to contact me. If you have any more questions, let me know. We can work this out together. And next week, we'll be talking about creating a healthy environment in your life. So creating a healthy environment is different from saving the planet because it's more focused on you and your specific, unique, beautiful, magical life, and where you live right now and how you can improve on that environment so you have a greater sense of well-being. I will talk to you soon, and with so much love, Chelsea.